What I wanted to do was kind of sit with you and talk a bit about your adventure in terms of coming here to Christopher Newport as part of the Luter School's exchange program. And as our first exchange student, we're very delighted you're here, and I kind of thought we ought to introduce you to hopefully others who will be considering coming, and also to hear from you some of the things that brought you here, some of the exciting things you've been doing while you are here, and maybe some advice you might have. And maybe let's first start with a little bit about a background. So maybe you can fill me in even further about where you're from and why University of Glasgow, and then why come here to CNU.
Yeah, sure. So I am from a town called Cumbernauld, which is just outside Glasgow, and it's about 40 minutes away from Edinburgh, which is the capital city of Scotland. I've lived there my whole life. I went to school in Glasgow, and for me, there was no other option than to go to Glasgow University. It was always going to be
going to be there.
That I was going to go to. Yeah, I just love the whole West End of Glasgow. I just love it. Yeah, and studying abroad has always been something I've talked about doing since I was maybe 15, 16 years old. And to get the opportunity to go somewhere in the United States definitely is just such an amazing opportunity, and I'm so lucky to even been offered to come here. I applied to a few different schools in the United States, and this is the school that I got matched with, and it couldn't have worked out better for me.
That's great. Well, as you know, I've told you I've traveled to Glasgow a couple of times, and I can understand your passion for the university. It's a remarkable place, and truly one of the world's great universities.
Yes.
And from that, there must be students that are going abroad often. Many of your classmates and others.
Yes.
Seems to be much more a part of the European experience than perhaps it is here. Yeah. But I've always thought the benefits of studying abroad really are speak so loudly and so forcefully about growing and learning and being, and that's just an important thing to do as a student.
Yeah.
That must have been, for someone who hasn't been much far out of Glasgow, must be in your mind as well to have done this.
Actually, I've been quite fortunate to travel a lot with my family, with my school, and independently. Last year, I spent 10 weeks at a summer camp in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have experienced being away from home for long periods of time.
I see.
So yeah, I'd been away for 10 weeks, and this time I think I'm away for about 18, which is a long time. It's a long time to be away from home, and definitely hitting the halfway mark being here. I definitely did start to miss home and start to think about it a lot more. But I think you just psych yourself up for it and you just get on with it.
How have you found Christopher Newport? Is it kind of what you thought it might be before you got here and actually saw it? Or are we a little different?
I think it is completely different to what I thought.
Really?
As soon as I walked on to this campus, I was just mesmerised. I have never seen a campus like it. It is just stunning. The whole CNU hall, it's just honestly outstanding. When I arrived here, it was a lot hotter than it was in Glasgow.
Yes.
I work in Celsius, so it was about 34 degrees, which was far too hot for me. But now that we're into fall, it's a lot nicer and
more comfortable.
Yes, a lot more comfortable.
How do you find our students, your classmates, your newfound friends? Is it a comfortable environment? Is it a reasonably social environment? Have you had a chance to meet a lot of people, do a lot of things?
Yes. So ever since I arrived here, all the students, all the faculty members, all the teachers have been nothing but welcoming towards me. All my classmates are great. I really like how at CNU the class sizes are a lot smaller, so you get to know everyone in your classes. Whereas at Glasgow, there's maybe 150 people in each of my lectures, so it's much more of a do it on your own. Whereas there's a lot more companionship. Is that the right word?
That works for me. I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
People are willing to share and externally pretty outgoing. General, okay. Have you done any work with teams while you were here with a team of people make a presentation or a course?
Yes,
How did
actually,
you find that?
Just this morning I had to give a talk in my corporate finance class. So we've been working hard on our projects over the semester. We actually have 3, so we've now finished 2. I generally quite like group work, and coming here has given me a chance to get to know a few people in my class really well too.
good. Do you think our classes are similar in many ways to what you've been taking at Glasgow, or are they?
I think they're very different, actually.
In what way?
I think in Glasgow, again, the class sizes are very big. And that means that maybe I don't have a relationship as such with my teachers, my professors, or even the people in my class. So I think that's something that I definitely really like about CNU is that you have the opportunity to form a relationship with your professor and know them on a closer level. They know you, you know them, and get to know your classmates.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that, because we pride ourselves, we keep saying, having small classes and having a very sensitive, really not just faculty, but our administration, everyone here is very concerned about our students. And to hear someone who's really fresh from outside to say that is indeed the case is good. It's good. It reinforces what I think some of our
it definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah. So I understand you've also had some fun with the sports teams here.
I have.
What's your specialty and what have you done?
Oh, I don't know my specialty, but I'm into field hockey, and I've also been playing tennis since I was here too. Yeah. So it's been great. I've just been trying my best to get involved in as much as I can, and generally I'm quite a sporty and active person, so that was always going to be my go-to. Good.
And we've been able to let you do all of that, or satisfy that itch as well.
Actually, just a few weekends ago, I travelled with the field hockey team up to Fredericksburg is it Mary Washington?
Yes, University of Mary Washington.
Yes, and we played 4 hockey games in one weekend, which was a lot, but it was very good fun.
If you could do anything to have better prepared yourself, what would it have been?
I think the one thing I regret not doing is reaching out to CNU students who had been in Glasgow last semester.
And we have a number of those in the case of Glasgow, yes.
But honestly, I think it must be the Scottish accent just attracts people who have been to Scotland, and I have met a lot of students who have been at the University of Glasgow. And I've made quite a few friends who are going next semester, which is quite funny. So when I go home, they're sort of coming with me.
They're coming with you.
Yeah, so I end up spending not just a semester, but a year with some of my really new friends, which is great.
Wonderful. What could we have done to make it even easier for you or more welcoming, if anything?
I have to say all of the staff and the faculty members were so welcoming. Terry especially reached out to me and my family on the first day, greeted us as soon as we arrived on campus, and totally just put me and my family at ease. Because obviously for them, leaving me here too, that's a big deal too.
Bringing you over, leaving you here is a big thing.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I think maybe one thing that could maybe be done differently is the accommodation. So I'm in CNU Crossing with just one other flatmate. So we get along really well and we have a great relationship, but it's maybe not the most sociable, having only just one roommate. So maybe for the next person coming, they could be put in a bigger dorm with more people.
Good suggestion. What dorm are you in?
I'm in CNU Crossing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm on East.
Yes, I got you. Crossing. That's good. And what do you plan to do in the remaining, unfortunately for us, few weeks you're going to be here?
I know, I can't believe how quickly the semester has gone. It's absolutely
fast.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, there's Thanksgiving coming up. So obviously we don't have that at home. That's just an American thing. So one of my friends has offered to let me stay with her family over Thanksgiving up near DC. So I'm excited to do the whole Thanksgiving American thing and see what that's all about.
But you'll be able to do Christmas shopping at home. You'll be able to do that at home.
Yes.
That's fine. Excellent.
I'm also hoping to make it to Richmond next weekend, go and explore a little bit, and I'm still to make it to an ice hockey game.
Okay. And our volleyball team, is doing well as well.
I've heard this, yes.
Yes, and so tonight's another semifinal game. You might want to, I'm going to go to that one tonight for sure. Now tell me, we have also, the way we're structured with the academics, we tend to have 2 or 3 exams during the course of the semester and a final. Is that typical for what you're used to in your courses at home?
No, again, it's very different. So normally in Glasgow, the format is more, you have maybe one midterm that's about 20 to 30% of your grade, and then you have a final exam in December that's about, the remainder, so 70 to 80%. So the focus is mostly on the final exam, whereas here I found that I have tests a lot more often.
Okay.
Tests, papers, assignments, presentations, so you're busy all the time throughout the semester.
Okay.
So I found myself a lot more stressed,
Oh.
so to say.
Okay.
But I guess, yeah, there's pros and cons. It just means that the final exam, there's less pressure on the final exam here.
One other thing we work at pretty hard is we try to have a variety of programs around the academic aspects of the Luter School. We bring companies in for speeches and so forth, for luncheons. We do a number of big events where we gather all the students together for etiquette dinners and just learning more about life on the outside and careers and so on. Have you been able to take any advantage of that, or do you see that as an interesting piece or an interesting attribute of the school?
Yes, I think it's a great attribute of the school. I attended the BizE dinner, which was great. I learned a few things about my dinner etiquette and had a really fun time as well.
Yeah.
I think the slice of business life that's every Tuesday, I think that's great. You've got companies coming in to talk to students about their fields, their jobs. I think it's really informative and really great.
Good.
I have been in touch with the Career Planning Centre as well, who've helped me with things like resume writing. Even though, again, the formats and things are a little bit different here, it's good to just get some different tips.
Yeah. I know one thing that's a little different is that many of our students, most of our students live on campus, and everything happens here, all their food, everything else. And I thought about that because I'm not so sure that's the case at Glasgow. So that's a good question. How is the food? How is it? How is the social environment that we've created? How comfortable are you in it?
I generally really enjoy the food. I really like how, again, everyone lives on campus, so everyone goes to the same dining halls and areas to get all their meals. So it means that you do spend time with your friends that I wouldn't normally spend time with my friends doing.
After class.
Yeah. They have a wide variety of meals and food available in both of the dining halls. I recently just discovered the Mongolian grill.
Oh,
yes.
really?
Yes.
A new addition. Yes.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, I really, really like that. I've also had a few themed meals. There was a carnival themed meal, and just the other day was the Halloween themed meal where all of the dining hall staff dress up, and it's good.
Did you do anything special last evening, as yesterday was Halloween?
Unfortunately, I didn't because I had a talk this morning.
I saw folks wandering around in costumes and the like. Thought maybe you might be among them.
Yes, I understand that a lot of the professors bring their children and they go trick-or-treating around the freshman dorms. I thought that was really lovely. It's really nice.
Now, we've thrown a couple of curves at you also. We canceled class for 3 days because of the impending hurricane, which happily did not really do us much harm. But it must have been a different adventure for you, was it?
Yeah, that game was a little bit of a shock.
Never been in a hurricane before?
Can't say I have, no. No, but again, the support system here was great. I had only been here 2 weeks, I think, and so many people reached out to me offering me to stay with their families, which was so kind and just so generous. Luckily, I stayed with one of my friends up north in Ashburn.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and we had a great time. We went shopping, got to see the area, had a very nice few days off class. Good. The hurricane was a secret blessing.
That's in a way, it turned out to be that, I think, for everybody. But it's unfortunately something I hope we don't have to continue to deal with every year.
Yes.
I'm delighted. I'm not surprised, but I'm delighted it all worked well for you. And your comments about upcoming Thanksgiving and chance to go home and enjoy yet another American tradition. Is
for sure. I think when the time comes, I will definitely be ready to go home. But this experience has been so positive. I have learned so much about myself, about other people, and I think I'll definitely go home a new and improved person.
Well, you have become a real ambassador for study abroad in reverse for our students, because I find that a number of students just aren't sure they want to take that risk, that chance of going out to something totally new. But when they meet people who are doing it, I think they find they can be a little more assertive and maybe consider doing it. And again, as the first person to come on our exchange programs, I'm just so delighted because we're hoping that there'll be a lot more of Claire's in the future.
I hope so too.
We've been delighted to have you, and I hope we made a friend for a long time.
You definitely have. That's so nice.